Hello, it's me, Hannah from Failbetter, and I'm here today to stream Mandrake for you. Thank you so much for having us, Telltale, to the Choices Matter Steam Festival. We haven't really done a lengthy stream of Mandrake at all before, so this is all new, juicy stuff, and I'm very keen to show you the ways in which your choices matter, and also in a meta sort of sense, how our development choices have mattered. I would love to show you Mandrake. Mandrake is in a new genre for us. It's a rural life sim. You might have heard of our previous games. We made Sunless Sea, Sunless Skies, the sequel, Mask of the Rose, which is in the same universe, and Fallen London, the browser game, which is still up. You can still play it, 16 years and going. So Mandrake is set in a new world. It's a new genre. It's a new everything for us. This is actually the first time, let me show you, the first time that we've had a character walking around, somebody with feet. This is Morgan Mandrake. Morgan is the protagonist of Mandrake, and they have feet and they move around the space. Now this is all brand new for us, and I really hope that you like the look of it. Let me tell you a bit about our game. Morgan Mandrake here has returned from afar to their familial seat, to their house owned by their ancestors, the Mandrakes, to take up their seat again and to become part of the community in this village here, Chandley. Chandley is a pretty small place. One of the reasons for it being so small is that despite the fact that this is a rural life simulator, growing things on purpose is actually forbidden in this setting. It's cursed. So thanks to the Covenant of Weeds, you may find if you attempt to grow something from seed on purpose, you would be in some way censured by the land. I wonder if I can find, for example, what's happened to this house here? Perhaps somebody trifled a little bit there with the Covenant of Weeds. But Morgan, you are immune. You are immune to the effects of the Covenant. You are the last in a long line of sorcerer gardeners, so you have the capability to grow things, and it's very impressive to people in Chandley that you can grow turnips at will. So we're just going to talk to a few people in the village here. I'd like to talk here to Ezeld if she'll stop for me. There she is. We're going to talk to maybe 3 people in the village, just to give you an idea of the kind of story you can expect in Mandrake. You may not know from our previous work, but we tend to write quite wordy games with lots and lots of rich and responsive choice. So something that's maybe a little unusual for the rural life genre. The last game that we made, Sunless Skies, in this sort of format, had more words in it than the Bible. Which we probably won't do again, but Mandrake is going to be, it's a game where you're going to have to enjoy reading, but if that's what you know us for, then hopefully you welcome that. And I'm realizing now as I record that I haven't had to do voices for anyone yet. I literally haven't done any dev streams of Mandrake yet at all, so coming up with voices for everyone on the fly here for people. Bear with me. This is Ezeld. Let's just talk to her quickly and I'll tell you a bit more about the game. A woman of advanced years and studied dignity observes you. Her dress is of deep burgundy and a certain quality, not the silks, lace and frills of the old aristocracy, but pragmatic, attentively made, and decorated with precise, skilled stitching. As you approach, she dips into a formal curtsy. Thane, a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Ezeld Ambrose, at your service. And here's something called a trait. The magnate trait is piping up to tell us something. At the end of the video, I'll go into character creation and show you how setting up your character in different ways will enable you to see different things during gameplay. None of it should be locking you out of choices, but only being additive, really, to the core story. And you can have a number of points, say, in each of these traits, which will influence the additional information and insights you get in conversation, like this insight here, letting us know that Thane is a term of address used in Old Penhallion to denote a member of a noble house. You can be more of a magnate or more of a neighbour or more of a doubter or more of a magician leaning into your magical abilities. Those things will give you more insights, and the more knowledge you have from insights, the more different conversational options you will get when you play. So let's say Ezeld here really values the old ways and formalities. So let's decide if we're going to lean into that. Morgan Mandrake, the pleasure is mine, Mistress Ambrose. She adjusts the bun of her hair and gives a thin smile, so she clearly liked that. If I may say so, it is a relief to speak to someone familiar with the proper courtesies. So either we can, eschew these courtesies or lean into it. I like the sound of that. As you say, Thane. I myself am an Ambrose, not so grand a lineage as your own, of course, but I like to think it has some small prestige. Once my forebears served the House of Roses, who ruled on Olias. Ah, fascinating. Of course, Thane, I'm sure we will have many such opportunities, but I should bid you goodbye. I'm sure you have many important things to be getting on with. She repeats her curtsy. So we have impressed Ezel there with our deference to the ways that she prefers. You can, of course, choose to not do that. Your traits will increase depending on the kind of choices that you make in conversation. So, whoops, got stuck. So you'll find that you will get, the higher your traits, the more you'll see those kinds of insights. Let me see if I can find one of the children. Who's out to play? Tamsin here. The girl is about 10 years old. She has red hair, unlike any you've seen in the village, and improbably blue, uncannily blue eyes. As you approach, she gives you a polite little bow. You can introduce yourself here to our young friend, Tamsin. Tamsin Vickery. I live at the lighthouse on the shore. She examines you thoughtfully, a crinkle in her brow. Are you a traveller? I have been and may be again, but for now I live here like you. May I ask you some questions? You're very polite. Thank you. I find it gets good results. Does that mean yes, by the way? Why not? Where do you come from? And I'll show you later in the character creation screens that you can select your background. Unusually for our games, Morgan is a named protagonist. They have a set family lineage and history, which you can influence a little bit in character creation to hopefully give a flavour of what you might be interested in when you're playing through the game. So here I've chosen that I was from the Leeward Isles, east across the sea. I know about the Leeward Isles. They sometimes eat seaweed there, and they have cursemongers that you can pay to make horrid things happen to your enemies. She stops to consider this, clearly feeling that she could make good use of a cursemonger. Oh, and if you sail beyond the Isles, you'll come to the place where the wind dwells. What do you do? My fathers are a fisherman and a lighthouse keeper. And you can choose to be various amounts of aloof here, but I am a gardener, I think. She thinks about it. That's probably quite interesting, she decides. To hear my trait of magician is answering. As she speaks, she twirls her necklace on one finger. Its thong is made of seaweed threaded through the handle of a tiny china teacup. Tamsin notices you looking. Oh, did you want to see? She slips it off and drops it in your hand. The seaweed is dry and strong as cord. The cup is old, webbed with hairline cracks and decorated with faded roses. Interesting. Its seaweed thong should be more fragile than this, and frankly, smellier. So you can see the kinds of things that your magician trait will notice, and the kinds of things that your doubter trait will notice. An instinct takes you, and you hold the little cup to your ear. Inside you can hear the slow roar of the sea, just as you could in a seashell. You pass it back. How charming. She slips it over her head. Well, it was nice meeting you, she says carefully, her politeness back in place. I'm sure we'll meet again soon. I really love the children characters that we have in the game. I have 2 young children myself, and it's been really fun to watch them develop, because they're all quite different from one another. I love that. Okay, let's say hello to one more person. Just enjoying the environs here of Chandley. Let's see who's at home. I'm going to see if Thackery's in. Inside the station, you hear the sound of someone hitting something hard with a hammer, then swearing at it. Sounds like he is in. Ah, brilliant. And Nessa too. Great, 2 for 1. A solid man watches you approach. He wears an oil-stained apron over oil-stained robes and wipes oily hands on an oily rag. When he speaks, his voice is deep and easy. I don't know how much depth I have. The ebullient man says, Why, hello, you must be Morgan Mandrake, no less. Let me shake your hand. Actually, no, don't shake that hand. Shake this one. That one's got stuff on it. Sorry, occupational hazard. I should really scrape that off. And hello to you. Yes, Morgan Mandrake, guilty as charged. A pleasure. You shake the ostensibly clean hand, or rather are shaken by it. Thackery Moyle, at your service. Listener Thackery Moyle, in fact, of the ancient and reverent order of the voice. Your romantic trait has something to say. A voicer, one of the secretive order who are dedicated to unravelling the mysteries of the Sophoy's abandoned contraptions. And you can see in his key character art there, and in his house, that he has a contraption that he clearly loves to work on. Magician says, the voicers believe that the world has a hidden voice with which it speaks secret truths they are reluctant to share. I relay the news and weather report, thanks to the Corophon. So in Mandrake you'll be growing things and hunting and fishing and whatnot. So you will need to know a little bit about the weather, and our method for delivering that to you is via Thackeray's contraption here. Fascinating contraption, tremendously complex, a little occult, but so useful. From the state of his workshop, it's a full-time job to keep it from conking out. I have a few questions about the Corophon. Oh, me too. A great many, in fact. Come back another time and I'll tell you all about it. Well, not all about it. The ancient and reverent order of the voice have rules about that sort of thing, but I can drop a few hints. My house is always open to you, although don't touch anything. I have a system. Thank you, Thackeray. I do love you. Every time I talk to a character, I'm reminded that they're my favourite, and it just goes round and round. So that is Chandley. This is the village of Chandley. Not a very large place. Not a very populous place, but they managed to get by without the need for growing things. This is Rose, and she's the village leader. I'm not going to start talking to her, though, because I do want to have time to go through character creation with you. Let's do that right now. All right, let's talk about character creation in Mandrake. It's going to be a little different from our previous games. First of all, we have a person with their feet on the ground, and as I've established, this is pretty new to us. So you're going to be choosing options for their physical appearance for the first time in any of our games. And unlike our other games, Morgan is a named protagonist who has some aspects of their life and their family ancestry are kind of set as part of the story of the game. You do have some freedom still, and we'll have a quick look here at appearance, birthplace and youth specifically. The not being as free as Sunless Sea and Sunless Skies means that we're able to do specific things with their past, with their family, that really tee you up for the game. You get a sense that you're able to express who you want your character to be, and also we're trying to, in this little flow here, give some sense of the kind of game you can expect to see. And you know, our games have a lot of lore and mysteries in them, and the big challenge in doing a character creation flow for us is establishing some of those things in a very, very gentle and enticing, kind of beguiling way that keeps those lore objects or lore ideas interesting, not giving everybody a ton of lore up front in a way that's super off-putting or intimidating, or like boring. Sometimes you open a game and there's so much to read straight away, it sort of makes you think, Christ, I'm going to close this. So we're trying to drip in little bits of delicious setting info for you. Something to go through that's not too demanding of people's like brain time. Something simple, something colourful, evocative of the game that you're about to play. So we'll see if we've achieved that. Let's show you a little bit about it. Specifically, I want to just show you you can change Morgan's clothes. So I've already shown you Morgan running around the village looking like this, but we do have some fun clothing options. This is actually my favourite one, and you can change their hair and their facial hair and what colour everything is. So we have It's just really exciting to have a little actual guy that you can change the way they look. It really tickles me, because previously in our other games it's been a boat or a train or a silhouette of a person. So we have so many more options here. It makes me so happy. Okay, so birthplace. We have 3 things that you can basically choose from, keeping things very unintimidating, ideally. You'll have noticed in the conversation we had with Tamsin that the birthplace option that we chose was the Leeward Isles. So this is the first choice that you make, really, when you're opening up Mandrake, is your birthplace. You'll notice that none of these places are cities, and wherever Morgan comes from, they are a stranger to the place that they're going to be in. Let's just read a little bit about it. Once your family was a highborn house from a far off land. So that's the Mandrake family from Chandley. But you don't need that level of detail at this point. You just need to know what that level of detail would mean. So we don't actually include, you are actually from Chandley, you are actually a Mandrake here. But that was long ago. Their fortunes fell, a survivor fled, 100 years went by. You grew up in the place they escaped to. So we chose the Leeward Isles. And Tamsin had quite a lot of specific things to say about that. Tamsin has a particular connection to the sea, so she knew lots about, they eat seaweed and they have cursemongers there. That is directly down to the choices that you made here. The Leeward Isles, a rain-swept archipelago, hand-me-down boats fish the choppy waters, their mast witches listening to the voices on the winds. That sounds like a fabulous place to be from. But the other choices, each one giving you a different bit of flavour. And the beauty part is you get that flavour whether you choose it or not. So providing you read all of them, you get to learn these things just in a very light touch, minimalist way. And it starts building the picture of the kind of world that exists in Mandrake. The ivied bones of the former republic, its arches and its offices, a stark reminder of the follies of the past. So depending on which one of these you choose, your traits will be different. So in this one, the Sophian Heartlands introduces the concept of a previous civilization and what they were called. What were they like? The follies of the past. What did they get up to? Questions, mysteries. We're giving it to you all up front. The High Eld, the dark northern ice where hunters chase ivory and feast halls defy the tumultuous moods of the winter gods. So spirits exist in this world, gods of different shapes and sizes. Traits that you might have include things like being neighbourly. So it shows you up front the kinds of things that the game values, the things that you will come to hopefully value in the choices you make. So let's say Leeward Isles here. And then what was your youth like? Your life was humble before the visitation, before everything you knew about yourself changed. Your mother made her living as a shepherd, lawyer, or hearthkeeper. Shepherd and lawyer, both known to the average person. Hearthkeeper, what does that mean? And the fact that it's your mother's job as well gives you an idea of the kind of non-gendered, hierarchical sort of society that we're looking to build in Mandrake. So for shepherd, you grew up with the herds in high and lonely places where it was wise to know the whims and ways of the little gods. So already we've seen gods and spirits mentioned multiple times. The idea that there is more going on in this setting outside of humans. A lawyer. She was one who remembered how things must be done and why, and when that must change. You sat beside her and listened and learned. So the kind of person that you might be, someone attentive, maybe quiet, maybe listens more than they speak. This will raise your trait in doubter, and we saw doubter reflecting on the things that were happening in Chandley with a kind of a wary eye when we were talking to different villagers. That the game is interested in things like what is passed down, what is worth keeping, what is tradition, or what are the ways of people for, why do they change and when, what is the cost for not following those ways. Those kinds of preoccupations are hinted at here. And then Hearthkeeper. She kept her modest hearth with a kingly pride, for it warmed and comforted and sheltered you from the things of the night. The fact that Hearthkeeper is one of the 3 jobs given in this 3-choice list surely shows something about how important hearths are to the setting. And what is being just hinted at a tiny bit here, the idea of the things of the night, is in fact a whole nother covenant. So I've talked a little bit about the covenant of weeds. That is the one which prohibits horticulture, which banned horticulture and the practice of growing things on purpose for fear of censure from the land. The covenant of the hearth is another covenant on the setting, another, if you like, curse or like binding on what you can and can't do in this setting, which is the one to do with the night and the safety of a human hearth. That at night you have to be close to a human hearth to remain safe, which means you have to keep those hearths, look after them, and burn coals in your hearths, or have in some sense a lit fire to keep yourself safe from the things of the night. The covenant, it's complicated and it's a big concept, so here we are just saying basically its most discernible impact on you, which would be that your hearth keeps you safe from the things of the night. And you'll see more about that almost immediately as you arrive in the game. As we currently have it, the first thing that happens as you arrive in Mandrake is you are given a bucket of coals to secure your hearth for that night to keep you safe. We are not quite finished with the visitation, but just to show that you have to choose a reason for why you left home, and then you get this summary at the end here that shows where your traits lie based on the choices that you've made. You can go into some depth and check the trait descriptions there. And I really love this icon, particularly for neighbour. That really makes me so happy. The idea that your door is open to people is just so evocative. I love that. You will also change your traits in play. So this is really just an initial indication of interest, a way for us to impart some information, hopefully enough information about the world that makes it intriguing and exciting, and hints at some of the lore business that we have going on. And I hope that was of interest to you, and I hope that gives you a little insight into what we have decided to do in Mandrake and why, and some of the depth of the game. It's such a joy to talk about. I can't wait for us to be able to playtest Mandrake with you all. And if you would like to hear about our journey to release from here, you can wishlist and follow us on Steam. You know the drill. You know, that's the good stuff. But we blog about what we've been up to in researching the game and developing it. We'll do more videos like this, and in time there will be a way to sign up for playtesting via Steam. So if it's something that you fancy the look of, then you can come aboard and do that. I would love to thank again Telltale for having us in the festival. It's super exciting, and I really hope that in meeting Mandrake today you found a game that you and a place that you might like to call home. So please do follow us, come along with us, and I can't wait to tell you even more about Mandrake.